As someone who is 72 years old, I can tell you that life looks very different now compared to when I was younger. Over the years, I've learned that not every task I once thought was essential actually contributes to my happiness or well-being. One of the most surprising realizations was discovering the freedom that came with stopping certain cleaning routines, perhaps because of the benefit that I was trying to gain when I was young. I also began to recognize that life itself was compromised in so many aspects. It was not an overnight decision, but rather a gradual understanding that some cleaning habits were not just unnecessary, but were also draining my energy and time. When I finally let go of these 5 cleaning tasks, my life transformed for the better in ways I never imagined. Let me explain how and why. First, I stopped deep cleaning the carpets in my house regularly and quickly realized it was a life changer in ways I hadn't anticipated. Like many people, I had been under the impression that carpets needed to be shampooed and scrubbed multiple times a year to maintain a clean and healthy living environment. This belief came partly from habit and partly from marketing messages from carpet cleaning companies. However, upon closer examination, I discovered that much of this effort was unnecessary. Research by the Environmental Protection Agency found that for the average household, regular vacuuming combined with occasional spot cleaning was sufficient to maintain cleanliness. In fact, the study highlighted that excessive deep cleaning could have unintended consequences. Over-cleaning carpets, especially with harsh chemicals or vigorous scrubbing, can weaken carpet fibers, making them more prone to wear and tear and reducing their overall lifespan. When I considered this, it made perfect sense. I thought about how my carpets had started to look worn out despite my best efforts to keep them spotless. This constant deep cleaning routine had not only drained my energy, but also inadvertently accelerated the aging of the carpets themselves. Beyond this, I realized how much money I was spending on professional cleaning services. While professional carpet cleaning can be effective, it is not always necessary at the frequency I had been doing it. I had been scheduling these services every few months, thinking it was essential, but it turned out that this was more about habit than actual need. After cutting back and deciding to focus primarily on routine vacuuming and addressing occasional stains as they occurred, I immediately noticed several benefits. The first and most obvious benefit was the time I saved. No longer did I need to set aside hours to move furniture, scrub carpets, and wait for them to dry. A friend of mine who made the same decision shared how liberating it felt to let go of this burden. She described the sheer relief of no longer needing to rearrange heavy furniture just to access every corner of her home. She and I both agreed that this change was a game changer for our routines. Instead of spending my weekends deep cleaning, I began using that time to enjoy activities I loved, like reading, gardening, or spending quality time with family. Another significant benefit was the money saved. Carpet cleaning services are not cheap, and while they can be a helpful option for tackling deep stains or allergens, they do not need to be a regular expense. By cutting down on professional cleanings and investing in a high-quality vacuum, I found that I could achieve a clean home without stretching my budget. The extra funds were redirected toward hobbies and experiences that brought me joy, rather than spent on something that caused unnecessary stress. Perhaps the most surprising change was the reduction in physical strain. Deep cleaning carpets is hard work, especially as you get older. Moving furniture, bending over to scrub, and handling heavy cleaning equipment were all tasks that left me feeling exhausted for days afterward. Letting go of this unnecessary chore meant that I could preserve my energy for activities that truly mattered. I found myself less fatigued and more able to focus on enjoying life rather than recovering from cleaning sessions. This decision also had a positive impact on my overall mindset. Letting go of the expectation that carpets needed to be perfect all the time helped me adopt a more relaxed and realistic approach to housekeeping. I realized that a clean and comfortable home does not require perfection, but rather a balance that prioritizes both cleanliness and quality of life. My home still feels fresh and inviting, and I no longer stress over the idea of deep cleaning carpets as frequently as I once did. Ultimately, this shift taught me an important lesson about simplifying routines and reevaluating long-standing habits. By letting go of the belief that deep cleaning carpets was an essential part of maintaining my home, I gained back valuable time, energy, and peace of mind. It is a decision I wish I had made years earlier, and one that continues to enhance my day-to-day life. Another cleaning task I let go of was washing windows inside and out every few months, a chore that consumed more time and energy than it was worth. For decades, I believed that spotless windows were a hallmark of a well-maintained home, a standard I held myself to regardless of the effort it required. Like many people, I felt a sense of pride when the sunlight streamed through perfectly clear glass, free of streaks or smudges. However, over time I began to question whether this effort was truly necessary. A study conducted by a consumer research group offered surprising insights. It found that most people do not even notice the cleanliness of windows unless they are visibly dirty. This revelation made me pause and reevaluate my priorities. Why was I spending so much time and energy on something that ultimately had little impact on my daily life? When I reflected on this, it became clear that my fixation on spotless windows was more about appearances than practicality. The effort to maintain them required not only cleaning supplies and tools, but also hours of scrubbing, wiping, and perfecting every pane of glass. Balancing on a ladder to clean the exterior was physically demanding and sometimes even risky, especially as I got older. I realized that the stress and strain of this chore were not worth the fleeting satisfaction of having perfectly clean windows. It was time to let go of this unnecessary burden. Instead of cleaning my windows every few months, I made the decision to simplify. Now I clean the interior windows only once a year, focusing on removing any noticeable dirt or smudges without striving for perfection. For the exterior windows, I hire professionals to handle the task. This change has been one of the most liberating adjustments I have made to my cleaning routine. Hiring professionals means I no longer have to worry about climbing ladders or spending hours on a physically exhausting chore. The cost is reasonable, especially when I consider the time and energy it saves me. More importantly, it ensures the job is done safely and effectively. A 74-year-old woman I spoke to shared a similar experience. She explained how she used to spend entire weekends trying to clean her windows inside and out. The process often left her feeling drained and frustrated, especially when streaks appeared after hours of effort. She eventually decided to delegate the task to professionals and described how freeing it felt to let go. Instead of balancing precariously on a ladder, she now spends her mornings enjoying a cup of tea while someone else handles the work. This simple change allowed her to reclaim her time and focus on the things she truly enjoys. Letting go of the need for spotless windows has been a life changer for me as well. It has not only simplified my routine, but also shifted my mindset. I have learned to prioritize tasks that genuinely matter to me and to let go of those that add unnecessary stress. My windows are still clean enough to let in plenty of light and create a welcoming atmosphere, but I no longer obsess over achieving perfection. This adjustment has given me more time to spend with loved ones, pursue hobbies, and simply relax without the constant pressure of maintaining an unrealistic standard. It is a small change with a big impact, and one I highly recommend to anyone looking to simplify their life. The third task I gave up was polishing furniture weekly, a habit ingrained in me from childhood. Growing up, shiny, well-polished wood surfaces were not just a sign of cleanliness, but a source of pride. My mother would meticulously polish every wooden table, chair, and cabinet, and I carried this tradition into adulthood, convinced it was essential for preserving the quality and beauty of my furniture. For decades, I dedicated time each week to polishing, thinking it was necessary to prevent wear and tear and to keep my home looking its best. However, over time, I began to notice that the results did not always align with the effort I put in. Instead of enhancing the furniture's natural luster, frequent polishing sometimes left streaks or a dull finish. Curious about whether this routine was actually beneficial, I came across research by a furniture restoration expert. Their findings were eye-opening. According to their analysis, most modern furniture requires far less maintenance than people assume. Frequent polishing, especially with products containing wax or silicone, can lead to a buildup of residue on the surface. This residue not only dulls the finish over time, but can also attract dust and dirt, defeating the purpose of polishing in the first place. The expert recommended a minimalist approach, regular dusting with a microfiber cloth, and applying a light polish only once or twice a year for older or more delicate pieces. This advice completely changed how I approached furniture care. When I adopted this simplified routine, I was amazed at how much time and effort it saved me. By focusing on dusting regularly and using polish sparingly, I found that my furniture maintained its natural shine and beauty without the need for constant attention. My dining table and bookshelves, which I had once polished obsessively, looked just as good, if not better, with this more measured approach. The reduced use of polish also eliminated the streaks and buildup that had previously frustrated me. It felt liberating to know that I could maintain my furniture without the weekly ritual that had consumed so much of my time. A retired neighbor shared a similar story that reinforced my decision. She explained how she had given up using furniture polish entirely several years ago, opting instead for quick dusting with microfiber cloths. She noted that her furniture remained in excellent condition and that she never missed the time she used to spend polishing. Instead, she now enjoys tending to her garden or reading on her porch, activities that bring her far more satisfaction than fussing over tabletops. Her experience resonated deeply with me, as it highlighted how small changes in habits can lead to significant improvements in quality of life. And so, letting go of weekly furniture polishing has not only streamlined my cleaning routine, but also reduced the stress and pressure I felt to maintain a picture-perfect home. My furniture is still clean and presentable, but I no longer obsess over achieving a showroom shine. This adjustment has given me more time and energy to focus on the things that truly matter, whether it is spending time with family, pursuing hobbies, or simply relaxing. It is a practical change that has brought both peace of mind and a renewed appreciation for the beauty of simplicity. I also stopped scrubbing my kitchen appliances obsessively, a task that once felt like a non-negotiable part of maintaining a spotless home. Like many people, I used to believe that my oven, refrigerator, and microwave needed to sparkle at all times to reflect good housekeeping. I would spend hours with abrasive pads and harsh chemicals, ensuring that every corner of these appliances was immaculate. However, I eventually realized that this level of effort was not only unnecessary, but could sometimes cause more harm than good. A maintenance technician once explained to me that aggressive scrubbing can damage seals, protective coatings, and even electrical components, leading to premature wear and costly repairs. This insight changed my perspective and encouraged me to reassess how I approached appliance care. Now I focus on maintaining cleanliness through simple, consistent habits rather than rigorous, all-out cleaning sessions. For instance, instead of scrubbing my oven after every use, I wipe up spills and splatters immediately when they are easy to remove. For deeper cleaning, I tackle the oven only once or twice a year, using a baking soda paste rather than relying on harsh commercial cleaners. Baking soda is not only effective at removing stubborn grease and grime, but also gentle on surfaces, preserving the integrity of the appliance. This natural, low-cost solution has been a game changer for me, simplifying the process while ensuring my oven stays in good condition. I take a similar approach to my refrigerator, focusing on regular spot cleaning rather than obsessively scrubbing every shelf and compartment. I now clean out the fridge monthly, wiping down shelves with a mixture of water and vinegar and removing outdated items to keep the space fresh and functional. For the microwave, I use a quick steam cleaning method by heating a bowl of water with lemon slices, which loosens residue and leaves the interior smelling fresh. These small, manageable steps keep my appliances hygienic without the need for exhaustive scrubbing sessions. A retired chef I know shared her own experience, which further reinforced this approach. She explained how she too had shifted from deep cleaning appliances constantly to focusing on regular maintenance and addressing issues as they arise. This change allowed her to spend more time experimenting with new recipes and enjoying the creative aspects of cooking rather than viewing kitchen care as a burden. Her story resonated with me, as I had often felt that the pressure to maintain a spotless kitchen detracted from the joy of preparing meals for my family. By letting go of the need for obsessively clean appliances, I have found more balance in my daily life. The time I used to spend scrubbing is now devoted to activities I genuinely enjoy, such as trying out new cooking techniques or savoring meals with loved ones. My appliances are clean and functional, and I am no longer weighed down by the unrealistic expectation of perfection. This shift has transformed my kitchen from a place of stress to a space of creativity and connection, proving that sometimes less is truly more. Finally, I stopped ironing every piece of clothing, a decision that felt revolutionary after years of believing that crisp, pressed shirts and wrinkle-free dresses were essential to looking well put together. For much of my life, I diligently ironed almost everything in my wardrobe, from blouses to bed sheets, convinced that this level of perfection was not only necessary, but also expected. Ironing became a habit ingrained in my daily routine, consuming countless hours and a significant amount of effort. However, as I grew older, I began to question the practicality of this task, especially given the advancements in fabric technology and the changing attitudes toward what constitutes acceptable clothing standards. I discovered that many modern fabrics are specifically designed to be wrinkle-resistant, eliminating the need for traditional ironing. Materials like polyester blends, jersey knits, and even certain types of cotton now have properties that allow them to retain a smooth appearance with minimal care. In addition, a quick shake and proper hanging right after washing can often achieve the same results as ironing. A survey conducted by a lifestyle magazine supported this realization, revealing that 80% of older adults reported significantly reducing their ironing by switching to low-maintenance clothing materials. This statistic resonated with me, as it highlighted a shift in priorities among my peers toward convenience and practicality. Stray added that one study discovered that a major cause of depression is a sense of being left out. Instead of relying on an iron, I now use a handheld steamer for the few items that truly require extra attention. A steamer is not only faster, but also gentler on fabrics, reducing the risk of scorch marks or unwanted creases. This simple tool has made a world of difference in how I approach clothing care. Thank you. I no longer feel obligated to press every blouse or pair of slacks, and I have embraced the natural look of fabrics like linen and chambray, which are meant to have a slightly relaxed appearance. This change has been both freeing and empowering, as it allowed me to let go of unrealistic expectations I had imposed on myself for years. A friend of mine, who is 73 years old, joked that her iron has been retired longer than she has. She shared how liberating it felt to stop obsessing over creases that no one else seemed to notice. Her perspective was a reminder that the effort I had once put into ironing was largely unappreciated by others and often went unnoticed. This realization helped me prioritize what truly matters in my daily life. Instead of spending time standing over an ironing board, I now focus on activities that bring me joy, such as reading, gardening, or playing with my grandchildren. Letting go of this time-consuming chore has been a life changer. It has not only simplified my daily routine, but also shifted my mindset about what it means to be presentable. My clothes may not always be perfectly pressed, but they are clean and neat, which is more than enough. This small but significant change has given me back hours of my life and a sense of peace I did not realize I was missing. It is a reminder that perfection is not a prerequisite for living a fulfilling and happy life. These decisions may seem small, but their impact on my quality of life has been enormous. Letting go of these 5 cleaning habits has given me a newfound sense of freedom and peace. I've learned to prioritize tasks that genuinely matter and to let go of the ones that don't. By simplifying my routines, I've created more space in my life for joy, connection, and relaxation. At 72, I can confidently say that this shift in perspective has been a true life changer.